Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Strawberry Hill Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Simmons, and of course, we're always here at the Shop Cigar Lounge, like I always say every episode. Come check us out. Make sure you follow us on all the platforms, on social media platforms at Strawberry Hill Podcast, and make sure you subscribe. But today, I have a fellow cigar business owner himself, Mr. Jason Sharp here, manager and owner of Sherri's Cigar Lounge. What's the address of it?
3834 Genesee Street, KC Mo side.
Yeah, KC Mo. Yeah, you guys are very close.
Yeah,
I love it. Right down the street.
Yeah, right down the street.
Yeah,
right on 39th Street near State Line Road.
Yep. And so, how long you guys been open?
We're gonna come up on 1 year in June.
No shit.
That's it. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, we got the building.
It's flown by, hasn't it?
It goes quick. Yeah.
I had my 2 year in March 7th, and it feels like I've been open for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't feel like it's just
wild.
Time goes by so quick, but it's good though.
It's very good.
It's good, especially you hit your year mark. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, we're super excited. Obviously, we're making plans similar to what you and others do, and we're not quite concrete yet on what's going to happen, but it's certainly going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Good
deal,
it's
man.
Be a thing, right?
The
deal.
Yeah.
We've survived. That's all it is.
It's surviving. That's
survived.
it. Yeah.
That's really what
I always tell
is.
people, as long as I can pay rent, that's all I care about. So where originally are you from? Are you from here?
No, I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois. Born and raised?
Born and raised in the city. Grew up in Humboldt Park, Logan Square area. They call it Little Puerto Rico. Yeah, I didn't move. I mean, I moved around a lot, but, I moved here to Kansas City. I moved my whole life across the country on a train in 2017. I got here in 2017.
So were you, I guess, when did you graduate high school?
2005.
So what were you doing from 2005 to 2017?
Military school.
You just went straight to the military right out of high school?
Yep, did a lot of different things, but mostly military and school. Got a couple degrees, and but I built, I built a career in the weapons industry, which is what brought me to Kansas City. I got recruited at the Kansas City National Security Campus, where I spent about 5, maybe 6 years before I transitioned off weapon systems and onto delivery systems, which is really what my career has been. It's been largely military or in defense industry.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know the defense side of it. I thought it was just military stuff.
Nope. I spent a lot of years.
Really?
Yeah.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, I did enjoy it.
I guess you kind of have to say it if you're still working it.
Well, from you see everything that's going on now.
Yeah.
Right. With accountability and audits and whatnot in the federal government, it was like that for us already.
Yeah.
So, the fiduciary responsibility was exceptionally high standard, and like my office was right across the hall from the polygraph room. You got random polygraphs, and it was wild. Like,
just anytime they're just like, hey,
they want to polygraph you, you're getting polygraphed. So,
right.
yeah.
Jason, it's 9:05. It's time to get a polygraph. Why? I don't know. It's Tuesday. That's why.
Yeah. So, and so that became very meticulous and took, it took up a lot of time, which I enjoyed dedicating my time to. But I had other things going on at the same time. And again, I love it. I still, I stay in the fight. I'm just not, I'm not on the weapon side anymore. I'm on the delivery system side. So right now, supporting the Columbia class submarine replacement program, which is replacing the Ohio class sub.
So what made you get into that? Like, was it just a part, like when you were in the military, you got into it and just kind of like, I can make a career out of it too? Yeah.
Because one of the things that I found is, so I wanted to do something in the defense industry as a federal contractor. I didn't know what that was going to be. And, I ended up, the story goes, it goes back a little bit of ways. And, I hiked a 1,000-mile trail across the state of Wisconsin.
Jesus.
Back in 2015.
And why? Just because you wanted to?
Well, I was lost. I was lost. In my head, I was really lost.
Oh, okay.
And I was really lost. And there was a book written by Brace Barber, No Excuse Leadership.
Uh-huh.
And I read that book along the trail. And at the end of that book, there was a company called Orion Talent that specialized in taking Rangers from the battlefield to the boardroom. And I said, you know, what the hell? I'll put my name in the hat.
Yeah.
And they called me. And so I dropped my resume with them, and they called me about 3 months later, and they flew me out here to Kansas City to interview with KCNSC.
Mm-hmm.
Did that a couple of different times, and boom. And, you know, the reason I was a good fit is because I already have a security clearance from the military.
Yeah.
And I knew how to speak DOD, which is, you know, you have a lot of really brilliant engineers and scientists at these locations, at these sites, but they don't often have the history or the tool set to engage with the DOD, and which is largely, you know, what my job was. I was the link between, you know, the requirements coming out of NNSA and DC,
Yeah.
and then translating those requirements into an actionable plan for my engineers and my scientists to build a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I spent a lot of time engaging with the government, both on the DOD side and then the NNSA and DOE, Department of Energy, all these three-letter agencies I know.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's just, the alphabet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, what I became really good at that, right? I mean, that's, in the military, I was an infantry officer my entire career, so that doesn't translate to much,
Mm-hmm.
right? Obviously, we big police officers, and, you know, we can do all these fun things, and but what I thought I could do better was translate that into a leadership role, right? And that's really what I was focusing on doing.
Yeah.
And I did that.
So you said you were building weapons. Like, can you talk about that?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of weapons are we building here?
Well, Kansas City is, it's some would consider it's the center of our nation's nuclear weapons effort, right? But, you know, the reason Kansas City has a large footprint in the nuke weapons industry is because of former President Truman, right? So post-World War II effort, huge war machine, right? And Kansas City plants were making airplane engines. So, you know, the war effort ends. What do we do with this infrastructure? And what do we do with these workers in Kansas City? You know, thousands and thousands of workers. And so, you know, when Truman went into office, you know, he's Kansas City, and I guess technically Independence.
Yeah.
He had, you know, the Atomic Energy Act had just come out, which separated powers, right? So,
Yep.
you know, the government makes policy, the DOD delivers weapons, and civilians make them. Mm-hmm. So, you know, Sandia National Labs and all these other labs, and then KCNSC and some other manufacturing sites are the cooperative civilian leg of the nuke weapons industry. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we partner, Kansas City National Security Campus partners with all these labs and then NNSA, DOE in order to pull off a complete weapon system, which is, you know, obviously I can't talk about those details, but the from a design and manufacturing perspective, it is between the labs and KCNSC. About 85% of our nation's non-nuclear components come out of KCNSC.
Really?
And, you know, probably one of the fastest growing employers out of the KC metro area.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge. And so great. They are just amazing out there. Like the whole team at the KCNSC is just absolutely amazing from top to bottom. Like if you can land a role at that organization, like you hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to when you were saying that you were just walking around because you were lost.
Yeah.
So what was going on in your head? Like, what, I mean, like you just hit a point in your life. You're just like, I need to figure out what the hell I want to do.
Well, you know, I had a lot of great things going on in my life, and this is largely, I mean, this entire story is in my book, of course. Mm-hmm. And you know, I had built this military career that was amazing. I had just commissioned. I just came out of Ranger School back in 2013, and I know here I am smoking a cigar, but back in 2013, just graduated Ranger School, and then I got accepted into flight school because I didn't want to be a knuckle dragger forever. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go fly. So I said, you know, let me go to flight school. Well, about 6 months later, I ended up getting diagnosed with advanced stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a blood cancer.
Jesus.
So it's not a lung cancer. I've never had lung cancer, you know. So I was in the best shape of my life. I just came out of Ranger School, you know, and I was really killing it, having such a good, you know, just a good time. You know, I'm busting out 6, 7, 8, 10 miles a day sometimes, you know, just doing what I do. And then out of nowhere, I get this blood cancer. And, you know.
I always tell people, like, life throws you curveballs always at the moments you don't expect it.
It's 2:00 on a Tuesday. You know, that you get hit on with the most ridiculous things. And so that took a lot from me at that time. And it crushed my military career at that time. You know, I certainly wasn't going to graduate flight school, right? I certainly wasn't going to do any of those things. And so I didn't know what, you know, like my entire existence, my purpose was predicated on this military career that I was going to make. You know? And then it was just gone. Yeah. So I decided to leave, and I needed to, you know, get my head on straight and figure out what the hell I was going to do. And I realized that I needed to do something dramatic, something really drastic. I needed to leave behind my comfort zones, you know, leave behind all the people that, you know, I know that I can lean on. And I needed to, like I said, I needed to do something really dramatic. And that's when I came across, you know, the idea, hey, you know, let me go and backpack. You know, so I spent about a year in the hospitals, you know, doing all this chemo. And, you know, I had six different rounds of chemo. I had stem cell transplant, bone marrow transplant, radiation, you name it. And so in 2015, when I went into remission, I said, well, you know, I spent 6 weeks in a hospital bed getting transplants. I'm going to spend 6 weeks outside backpacking to celebrate and get my head on straight. And that's when Orion Talent came around, and that's when I decided to put my name in that hat, and that's what brought me to Kansas City. And at that time, I had no idea I would ever get into. I mean, I smoked cigars, but I didn't know I was going to, you know. Yeah. So.
Man, that's a crazy story. So you're a cancer survivor. Right? Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm
man.
still smoking. So see, because I got lung cancer, and, you know, and you know, what I learned from my cancer experience is, well, I learned a few things. Number one, I learned what's really important and what isn't, and like really, like I learned who shit I'm willing to eat and who shit I'm not willing to eat. So and that translates to being. You know, I became really good at removing people out of my life that did not add value. Yep. Period. Right. And then I you know, I really still wanted to enjoy my life. I wasn't going to sit there and be this, huddled in my little old cabin for the rest of my life, trying not to do anything that's of any worth a damn, just because I don't want to get sick. Yeah. Right. And I don't want to get sick. I don't want, you know, but I still take care of myself every day. But you know, a good cigar makes me happy. It brings me peace, and I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna put that down because. No, you need your vices. Yeah, a man without vices can't be trusted. You know. Yeah, and I know I've said this before in the podcast, but I always say this: like, it's like when people hit rock bottom, it's like you really find out who you truly are, and you find out what's important in life. And you find out like who's important in your life. Yeah. 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 And it's like you said, it's like you sometimes you got to hit that to really value life. Yeah. And it sucks, but it's like, that's life. Like it's not only going to be, you know, roses and a paved road and everything's going to be great, but it's all about how you come out of it. And it looks like you came out of it. We built a solid plan, and you know that's around that time that I started writing, right? Excuse me, because I wanted to, you know, we grew up really rough, and I mean really, really rough. Both my parents are Class A felons. They did time in, a lot of time. You know, my father, when he was in prison, we were living on the streets. I mean, in and out of shelters and homes and you name it. And, you know, I eventually, I learned, I became this really angry person. You know, I'm a 3-time graduate of anger management. I didn't graduate the fourth time, so I took up other vices to find my peace.
Yeah.
And but I learned just like you have to own it if you want anything productive or successful. You have to own it. There's no other way around it. There's nothing. You got to put the work in.
Yeah.
And just do the damn thing. So I survived Chicago, and then when I hit that train, I met a gentleman by the name of Johnny Blue Hands.
Johnny Blue
I
Hands.
swear, it's all in the book. I swear to God. Johnny Blue Hands, and he sits there. I mean,
Sounds like a mob boss or something.
he is an 80-year-old, really tall, clean, zoot suit wearing, right? Like,
I can already picture him. Yeah.
And he came straight out of the Delta, Mississippi. And he'd been riding trains his whole life, playing pool in every bar in America. That's what he does. He plays pool, and the blue chalk gives him.
Johnny Blue Hands. Okay, that makes sense.
So we got to talking, and we talked for 8 hours straight. And he convinced me to write because he was writing a book. And he convinced me to write, and so I did. And I literally put my first pages on that train so that I could, heal. Because again, anger management wasn't doing anything for me, but writing was probably the most cathartic experience I ever had. It really helps you put things away. And I'm no Hemingway, you know what I mean? I just wanted to write my story down, but it helped me figure my life out.
Yeah,
big time. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's a cool story.
It's been a story.
Yeah, and it's still going too.
It's still going. Yeah, we're not done.
Yeah, so you got to Kansas City. You said 2017. So you got a new job. Like now what?
Well, then my now wife was stalking me.
Hopefully she can't hear us.
Yeah, she was stalking me on LinkedIn. It's funny actually. Because I was at a party, not even a party. We were watching a football game at it's closed down now in Westport. What's that bar that guy got shot at?
Ale House?
Ale House. Yeah. We were watching a football game there, and she shows up as a mutual friend of the gentleman that invited me to watch the game. Well, I ended up inviting everybody back to my house for a couple of drinks, and I was in the middle of writing my book. So Saturday night, I was focused, I didn't even want to go out. I didn't. I wanted, I was just doing my thing.
Yeah.
Building my career, writing my book. Well, I get everybody to the house, and it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock, because they were going to go out and do an after party. I wasn't going to go. Well, come about 9:30, 10 o'clock, I was like, all right, everybody.
Everybody get out.
Get out.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of my house. Like, I got stuff to do.
You ain't got to go, but you got to get out.
She's like, well, no one's ever kicked me out of a party, So a couple of days later, that's really how we met, and then it just kind of snowballed, right? The career continued to build at KCNSC, and I continued to write. We started having babies, and building.
You got like a whole army now.
Yeah, building our entire family up, and then about I probably wrote 3/4 of the book in various cigar lounges, including this one.
Yeah,
I would sit and and it dawned on me. I just said, why not just do this in our own lounge? I needed an office because I was doing a lot of remote work and traveling for KCNSC, and then when I switched over to the Columbia sub, I was doing a lot of remote work. So, working at home was fine without kids. I had an office in the back, but now with the babies, they're just coming knocking on windows, and so I needed an office. So we built one, and I was smoking, a cigar a day, sometimes two, sometimes more, and it just made sense. Like, why don't we just do this in our own lounge?
Yeah. So I want to go back to cigars then. So how did you get into cigars?
I got into cigars.
I know you probably asked that question a lot. Yeah.
But I had my first cigar back in 2005 when, like back then, and even, even the early 2000s, it wasn't that long ago, but our teachers still gave us cigars, you know, like seriously, you know, we had a cigar. I was like, what the hell is this? You know, so I smoked it and I fell in love. That's it. That is the story. Yeah.
You've been smoking since 2005. That's 20 years, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I wasn't super,
like every day back then. Yeah.
You know, like I didn't build a small lounge in the back of my house, right, until 28, till COVID, actually. COVID hit, and we built a small lounge in the back of the house, you know, like I'm sure many of you have done.
Many people.
You know, that was our COVID project.
Yeah. I didn't have a small lounge, but I was out in my patio, my deck, almost every single night. And of course I broke the rules. I had people over all the time. Like, just stay away from me. That's all I care. Just stay this far away. Just don't touch me.
Yes, exactly. And that, you know, and it was at that time, you know, we came through building that little small lounge, and then I'm sitting there working remotely back there, and my mom passed in 21 not from COVID. She was only 53. And she had a stroke.
Yeah,
and nobody found her for 6 hours. Nobody knew. She couldn't get to the phone. She was in the middle of dialing.
Ugh.
You know, 6 hours later, she was already brain dead, and it was game over. So the only thing that was tragic about that at that time was COVID itself, because they wouldn't let us in the hospital to see her. You know, and the funeral, you know, we're back in Chicago now, and funeral director says, you can only have 3 people at your service.
Jeez.
And I'm like, man, I'm gonna burn your building down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a service, you know. And then you know, as time came to pass, and we came up with the concept of Sherri's, which is my mother's name. And it was actually Nayeli's idea to name the lounge after her.
Yeah. So you have the lounge almost a year in. So how's everything going? And that's a loaded question.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going fabulous. It's just very, very busy. Lockers are full.
Good.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And, you know, you know how it goes, right? You iterate and you try different things, and you see what works and what doesn't, and you make changes. And that's something that we're constantly doing to evolve. But we have a good base in terms of what we want and who we are, and you know, the kind of experience we want our smokers to have in the lounge, right? I mean, just like you do here, I think people know exactly what to expect. They're not going to be surprised. They know that they're going to have a fabulous experience when they come to the shop.
Yeah,
they know it. You know, that's just it, because you've written that identity is important.
Identity is key.
Yeah, and so we're there now. Now we're trying to find ways to pull back, right? Because we have other things going on, and I'm spending less time at the lounge. Nayeli's going to spend less time at the lounge, so we have to get our staff up to speed. You know, they're up to speed in terms of you know, day-to-day operating, but you know, owning the vibe, owning the taxes, owning the, you know, all of it.
Yeah,
because you know, I'll be leaving, and when I leave again, you know, Nayeli's not going to be available every day. We got the kids at home, and we have other businesses, right? We got I don't know if you knew that, but we own the KC Candle Company, so you know, we make and sell a lot of candles.
I didn't know that. So if I need candles, I need to hook you guys
candles.
up.
Yeah, we got a lot of great. I brought some. In case you wanted to see. And
I go through candles. That's why you see all the electric ones. Yeah, because I burned through so many. I just got tired of spending money on.
It's a lot easier to make them.
Yeah,
a lot easier to make them. So you know, so that's probably the biggest hurdle right now is just finding the right people, which I'm sure you've struggled with, right? It's a total niche. You know, somebody has to be comfortable.
Yeah, people are always telling me, like, you don't want to be an employee of your business. Like, I get it, but it's hard not to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, Nayeli actually taught me something. What she always says every day, even when I struggle, to be like, well, let me just go do it. She says, look, you won't elevate unless you delegate.
That's a good way to put it.
And that's what we're trying, you know, to live by. And we're giving every opportunity we can to our staff to own various stages of the day, stages of the week, you know, the various stages of operation. You from taxes to social media. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely.
I love it. You guys are active on social media. I love it.
We are. I know you. There's only a couple of us that really do.
Yeah.
I don't. Even
social media is huge.
I don't even see. I mean, I don't see really anybody else besides you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a untapped market. You got to get into it. I mean, any business. It's like you want to grow your business and you want to get more eyes on your business. Like social media is key. I mean, a lot of people are using that. Like the TV media is not that it's dead, but it's like it's kind of going away.
It is. Everybody's on their phone.
Yeah, everybody's on their phone, and then it's easy because it's like 24-hour marketing. Yeah, like exactly. At 3 a.m, they can go on their phone and they can see what you posted. Yeah. Like they can't do that. Like you can't put an ad on TV at 3 a.m.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we are very active there. That's important to us, and we get a lot of good feedback from our customers, which I'm sure you do too, right? Like they love that, right? I mean, your posts are always getting a lot of comments and a lot of activity, which is really important. So yeah, we definitely are going to continue that effort, but we do a lot of other sort of guerrilla tactics, if you will, which I'm sure you do too, and that's the part that I need to get my folks to be thinking on that level. It's being creative, to live at the intersection. Just because it doesn't sound like it goes together, doesn't mean it can't. Yeah, right. It can. We just have to figure out a way to make that happen. So once we get past that hurdle, I'm going to feel really very comfortable stepping back. Yeah.
I commend you, man, because I'm not there yet. I wish I was.
Well,
you got a lot going on.
We focused, right, and that's we do, and so we opened with the notion that we will step back. Yeah, and so when we do that, we're going to do something else, right? Maybe the next step is to have a brick and mortar store for the candle company. Yeah. Right. Right now, it's all online sales or in the lounge. And then we do a lot of road shows and events for the candles and things like that too. So,
you got a cigar candle?
We do.
Ooh.
Yeah, she does a Havana Nights, and she's got a lot of different. She's got mahogany teakwood, love spell, bourbon.
I'll have to check him out. I'm a candle guy.
She's got them all. Yeah, so are we. We love candles, and we think it's really it sets the vibe, right? It sets like I know. I mean, just coming in here again, even during the day, the vibe is very warm and welcoming. It's not cold. It's you've got it.
Oh, it's all about the welcoming environment. Exactly. Yeah, you have to have that in a cigar lounge. Yeah, exactly. Or, I mean, really any business anyway. It's just like you have to have people want to walk in and feel like they're welcome.
I have arrived.
Yep, I have arrived. Yep, and I'm wanted.
Exactly. Which is nice. So yeah, we burned through a lot, and that's when she decided, let's just start making these. So she makes all the scents. She makes the perfumes out of them. She makes the bathroom sprays out of them. You name it. Yeah.
And then you guys do. I know you guys do a lot of stuff for like the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah. That's one thing we really pride ourselves on. We do a lot of fundraising. Yeah. So over the last couple of years, we probably pulled in $15,000 for Ronald McDonald.
Awesome. That's awesome. And that's near and dear to my heart because my son, he was at Children's Mercy twice for a week each with RSV, and we had to go to Ronald McDonald House to get food and I mean it's a great organization.
It is, and Tammy, who's the CEO right now, she's been the CEO for a long time. So she and I went to school together, and I really fell in love.
Went to school in Chicago?
No, at UMKC.
Oh, okay.
I went to the block school for my executive MBA at UMKC, and Tammy was in my cohort with us. So, which is a really very unique program. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but you basically start your MBA and you finish it with the same cohort of students, and you do 4 residencies. So you're really in it with them. Yeah. Which, for me, it's like I could do a regular MBA program, but then, you're basically in class with a bunch of, 22-year-olds who just got their bachelor's, and the executive MBA really enables constructive, real life conversations and discussions. And that's what that's where I met Tammy, and we fell in love with Ronald McDonald House at that point. So thankfully, knock on wood, we haven't had we've had very healthy children.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing that breaks our heart when we see a failure right now, and that's you got to raise the black flag and start slicing throats. When the kids get sick, it's like and you can't do it. So we do a lot of fundraising for them. We do a lot of cigars for warriors.
Yeah. I was going to mention that too. Yeah.
And then this year we did a big coat and toy drive for Emmanuel Cleaver School on Prospect, which is where our son goes. I'm a product of Chicago Public Schools. I turned out all right.
You turned out just good.
I believe my tax dollars, are going to good use in these schools that are putting on a lot of effort right now. There's a lot of challenges out there. I know there's a lot of divisiveness and whatnot, but our school on Prospect, I tell you what, those ladies, those men, they are outstanding.
Yeah.
And I knew it right away because one of the first days I dropped off, Q at school, there was this kid stomping up and down the hallway, and one of the teachers was like, "No, you will not stomp in my." I was like, "Yes, you."
This is exactly where I need to be at. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you tell him. Don't let him get away with that. So, and we knew right away. It's like we're good. So, and he loves it. So, we raised. What we did basically is if you brought a toy in, we gave you a free cigar. And I tell you, who wouldn't want a free cigar? So
yeah. Yeah, I love it that you guys do a lot of fun. I mean, I think a lot of shops around here do the same thing because I know I do stuff too. But yeah, it's like you focus on community, which is great.
Yeah, we do a lot and we really enjoy it. We don't know what we're gonna do next.
Yeah, there's always something next for you, man. I love it. Yeah,
we don't know what we're gonna do next, but we're gonna do something. But definitely something cool.
Yeah, and then so we were talking earlier. And you talk like you're still getting deployed out. You're still in the mix, man. So
I'm still in the mix. But like this year, thankfully, is literally taking a knee. I'm not going anywhere overseas in 25. We'll go do a bunch of training and things like that, but nothing dramatic. And 2026. By then, who knows?
Is there an end game for you on the military side?
I mean, I like to get my good years in and retire.
How long have you been in there so far?
17.
Are you gonna do the full 30 or whatever?
No, I'll do 20 and then I'll be lucky if I get.
She's like you're getting out tomorrow.
20 and 41 minutes. And that's enough time to sign your paperwork. So we'll see. But you need good years for that. And so even if you're in for 17. You may only have 15 good years.
What does a good years mean?
It means that you didn't miss any training. You didn't, every day of duty adds up to points. So
you got to get to a certain point limit. Gotcha.
Really complicated system.
Jeez.
So you got to constantly run your points and see where you're at and see how many points you need to do the math. That tells you how many good years you need left. So trying to get my good years and roll out.
So I know the cigars and candle. I know that's not it for you. I know there's more on the table.
Yeah. So we have a consulting firm. And I don't plan to be a W-2 employee anymore for anybody. But
yeah, once you become a business owner, it's just and you work for yourself. It's kind of one of the things I'm not going back.
Yeah. And so we're going to. We have a pretty robust real estate portfolio that Haley manages. So we were gonna, when we looked at this property on Genesee Street and we were toying with this lounge idea, we were on the verge of buying another rental property, and we just dropped that and decided to go for the commercial property.
Yeah,
I think we'll grow that. We'll continue to grow that. We might target a brick and mortar for the candle company. And
you want to do it in the same area or just kind of somewhere else?
we haven't done that research yet.
Yeah.
It's got to be a heavy foot traffic.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, we haven't done that research yet. We'll see. But you know, I've got a lot of requests from my family to open up a lounge back home in Chicago. You know, maybe we'll do that. I don't, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Once we have the concept so concrete and it's a flip of the switch, and we have enough capital to do it, then we'll probably do something like that as well. But we're going to continue to grow the consulting firm, and we're going to continue to grow the businesses that we do have. And again, try to pull back and let the lounge operate how it operates.
So, as a business owner, and this could not only with the cigar lounge, but everything you're doing, I guess what's been some of the headaches, just like that you deal with, with any of them?
Yeah, red tape and regulations, taxes. You know, but in it's just like anything you do, it's, you know, getting the right clients in. Right? Just like you want the right clients in the cigar lounge. And you've got
people make or break your business. Like it doesn't matter how much, like how great of a business plan you got and everything. It's like if you don't have the right people coming in or people period coming in, like it doesn't matter.
And so, but probably the biggest challenge has been where to spend our energy appropriately, right? So energy management is it's a real damn thing.
Yeah, and dealing with the family too.
Well, that's exactly right. So, you know, and the way I put it, it's like, okay, well, a lion has to eat, right? So he can spend his entire day hunting and finding, 100 small rabbits, or he can just get one big antelope, and he's good for the next week. Right? So we try to literally determine exactly where to put our energy to effect the most successful outcome in anything that we got going on.
Yeah.
Day to day, week to week, month to month. And then risk, man. Risk. We're talking about risk every day. And everything that we do. Like where are we most vulnerable, and how do we manage that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, got the lounge. What has been like one thing you've loved so far about like being open and being in your spot? And like,
definitely the people. The people. I mean, the cigar community, the cigar culture is
awesome.
It's fabulous. I mean, it's just it's hands down the best gang to be a part of.
I tell people that all the time. I was like, I've never met like better people than cigar people, and I will put that to the test with anyone.
Yeah. I mean, exceptionally down to earth, right? But also, what I enjoy, and this happened last night in the lounge. Really difficult conversations take place, and there's no screw you. It's just tell me your point of view. Let's talk about it, and then you need a light. not screw your opinions, screw your let's have a conversation and talk about it. One of the things that we did, which we struggled with making this decision, we hosted the Jackson County prosecutorial candidates, both on the Democrat and Republican side. They came into the lounge, they did community meetings, and brought everybody in.
Yeah.
Great conversations unfolded. Now, again, that was important to us because from a business perspective, a lot of crime on 39th Street.
Yep.
I mean, I think you've had some break-ins on this.
Yeah,
right?
Just right next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's really, that was important to us to have a prosecutor discussion. And then we decided to host election night watch party, which...
Kudos to you. I stayed away from that.
Yeah, so again, we really talked about that one. But then we decided, man, these are intelligent human beings coming in here to smoke a cigar, to have a real conversation and share opinions, right? And at the end of the day, okay, you look at the TV and you go, okay, well, that happened. And then everybody's just like, who wants another cigar?
Yeah.
So you carry on. I mean, life has to go on. And we thought that, and interestingly enough, I mean, we had a pretty full house for the, not expecting that. and not a single argument or fight.
Good.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's just cigar culture,
That's
man.
cigar culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a like laid back vibe. It's like they can have, like you said, difficult conversations. And it's like as long as you have a cigar in your hand, it's like it's kind of like the key to having a good conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what we say. That's part of our, our mantra at Sherri's. It's, that's why we say executive lounge. Honestly, it's when I sit down to smoke a cigar, I'm sitting down to have an executive session with my soul. Mm-hmm. Right? We have conversations with each other, and you can sit there and thought and really come through issues, whether it's personal or as part of a group, and it happens. I mean, wars have been ended over a cigar, and it's, it's definitely probably to answer that question, that's definitely the favorite. Yeah. It's the people that come in and share their lives and their experiences with us.
Yeah. You kind of answered my next question too. It's like, I was going to ask you, why do you love smoking cigars? It's kind of answered it. Just
Yeah. It's my peace. Mm-hmm. It calms me down, helps me think more clearly. Mm-hmm. Cause I'm not so rushed, right? Like everything else, sometimes it seems so rushed. But when you're letting the smoke fill the air and you can see it's literally building the ambiance you need to calm down and slow down for a minute, and that's important because there's so much going on.
So much
going on. Yeah. So if you don't take the time out to just calm down, and
I used to tell people when I smoke cigars on my back deck, it's like, what are you doing out there? Like, I'm just watching the grass grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because that's my time, my Zen time.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is, it's like I might seem calm, but in my head, I've already killed you 3 times. So let me light my cigar. All right. And let's take it easy.
Yeah. So I like that. We'll have to use that one.
That's, yeah. So it's been great. We've got great neighbors. We're very, I guess you have residential, you got some residential across the street, right? And so that's been a little bit of a challenge, but
yeah. Now, and that was one of my next questions too. Not that it's going to be your answer, but like, what's been some of the headaches or struggles you've dealt with just the cigar lounge and the cigar,
Yeah, it's definitely been connecting with the neighbors, just.
Yeah.
And not just the residential, I mean, the other commercial businesses.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you this, like when I first came in here, like I had a lot of concern from people about being in the neighborhood. Cause a lot of people don't know that if they don't smoke cigars, they don't know the culture. They don't know what the type of people that are coming in. They don't, know.
Yeah. We got the same blowback. You're going to bring in lewd and nonsensical people, and they're just going to be getting drunk and,
yeah. No. That's not the cigar culture. No. Yeah.
It's very rare we get anyone in the lounge that's under 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's rare. They do, but it's rare.
I always tell people it's grown folk business in here.
It's a grown folks place. That's it. But, our property was vacant for, it was
a printing company, right?
A print shop. Yeah. T&J print shop. And the owner's retired and they're still around. They still walk the neighborhood and come and stop in every now and again. Mm-hmm. But the property itself was unused for probably 2 or 3 years. And the other businesses in the area used that property for their employees to park and have smoke breaks, and which is interesting, Mm-hmm. And they became really upset when they couldn't park there anymore.
Can't park there anymore. Yeah.
And same thing with the neighbors that are adjacent to us. They use our parking lot for their personal parking. Well, you could have bought the building. I mean,
yeah, it was for sale. You
could have. You didn't. We
did,
so carry on. Mm-hmm. We had an interesting, the adjacent apartment complex. There's like a handshake agreement easement on the driveway.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
And they got all up in arms about it, and it's like if I wanted to build a fence there, I could, and then you guys can't even use it. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out that their their retaining wall in the back is 3 feet over our property line.
Ugh.
So it's like,
if I really wanted to make a big deal
really
of
want to
it,
do this,
yeah.
let's just calm down. Why don't you come in and have a cigar?
Yeah.
Relax.
Relax. Yeah.
But yeah, the neighborhood board has been exceptionally helpful, useful. They even give us like bags of salt every.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
I need to tell our neighborhood board to start doing
I'm
that.
looking on our camera and I'm like, this guy's dropping off. He dropped off 4 bags of salt. Those are like $35 a piece.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
awesome.
So, very helpful in that regard. But some of the early challenges was definitely, and right now we are still fighting the city. We're trying to build a deck out front, but they said we need another 1.5 foot of clearance. I'm like, no, we don't.
Yeah, it's always
It's
the
like-
littlest things with the city. Yeah.
Like, really? That's really what's going to stop us from building this really cool deck? But so we're working through that.
Yeah.
It's all that. It's that.
Yeah, all red tape, like you said.
Yeah, it's the red tape. It's just it's that stuff that not a lot of folks think about.
No, you don't think about that stuff when you get into the business or get into any business. All the stuff you got to go through because you just think that like, oh, I want to open up, whatever concept I have and whatever business, and I'm just going to open the doors and great. Like you don't think about all the ins and outs, all the little stuff, all the inspections and all the every little thing.
Yeah, and then I'd say from going back to the lounge and the people and the culture, while I love this culture, and I'd say 9.9 out of 10 people are amazing. It's always that one,
Oh yeah.
that just tries to get away with murder, and those are always interesting conversations because it goes back to, whose shit I'm willing to eat and whose shit I'm not willing to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really. As long as you know that you got to nip it in the butt.
The only person shit I'm willing to really eat is sitting right over there. So that's it. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, if you have the audacity to come in and act like that, well then you
can go. Yeah.
And we've had that conversation too. I don't know, and so that's really it though. And
yeah, you got to protect the integrity of your place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's tough sometimes, but you have to, because I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but it's like one bad apple can ruin everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to make sure that you protect your business and your interest and your integrity and like the environment, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can be a struggle sometimes, because we're meant to be a space that's welcoming and conversational and, but it is a business, and I have expenses and I have employees I have to pay, and we have to. Yeah.
I still deal with that with.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
With even like people, and I know a lot of people that smoke cigars understand the cigar culture, and I know you deal with this, and every other lounge deals with this too. But it's just like sometimes people just come in, sit down, start smoking their stuff.
Yeah.
Don't buy anything.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, I appreciate you coming in, but it's like I can't keep the lights on in this place if you don't support me or any of the lounges around. Like,
right. Isn't it great that you're sitting here? Yeah. Yeah. But it's expensive to do that. And we get those too, and
every lounge has it.
Oh yeah, every single body. And it's like I always tell them the same thing. I say, look, do you bring a steak to a steakhouse?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
So
no.
Why would you do it here?
Yeah.
Now, and we welcome it. You can bring your smoke.
Yeah, and same here. It's like you can bring whatever you want, but it's like either pay a lounge fee or you buy some sticks.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. It's that simple.
And like I said, 99% of people get it. So it's just that 1%. Sometimes you got to remind them, like, hey, it's just a reminder.
Yep.
Because and then every spot is like it's real estate too. It's like that's like money that could be made, and like
that's the issue. That's literally the point I bring up to them. Like this is I can give this seat to a paying customer, and we fill like the house fills up, and then I've got people that I need to remove.
Yeah, like hey, sorry, yeah,
it's time to go, and especially if members are walking in, We were really teetering on whether or not to go the full 24-hour
Are you guys 24?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for members only. And I'd say we're not going to stop that. We've come through some challenges, but in large part, no issues.
Yeah. I'm still on the fence on it, so I'll be watching from afar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But I don't have it to where I can do 24-hour yet, but eventually I might get there. So we'll see. So I commend you for doing it. Because I get asked that a lot. Are you 24 hours? Like, no, sorry.
Yeah. Again, man, we really teetered on it for a long time. And it's just something that I wanted. Like, whenever I went to a lounge, I wanted, access. And, it certainly adds to the overhead costs of the space. I am going to probably hint everybody, I'm probably going to put in a fake thermostat soon so I don't come in and, they put it on 80 and they leave it on 80. And I'm like, what the hell?
What are you doing?
Who wants it on 80 degrees? All right. That's about it. Like small stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, great members.
Yeah, you guys got a beautiful space.
They take care of the space so well. Like, it's very rare I have to remind anybody, hey, don't leave your ashtray full. And there's some members whose wives like cracking them, like go get the rag, go get this.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing that we did find really interesting. How many true lady smokers?
Yeah, that's the number one growing demographic in the cigar culture is females.
Yeah,
especially African American females. Like, it's like there's a lot of females that are coming in, they're smoking, because like it's like if you build an environment in a lounge that welcomes everyone, and that's just it ain't just like a just a he-man woman haters club.
No,
you want to make sure that everyone's invited, everyone's welcome, and you make that lounge and you make it inviting to everybody. Like, the females or they feel comfortable coming in.
Yeah, and the one thing that I've noticed about your lounge, which I mean we're very similar in this regard, it's like from a female perspective, you only have to get one thing right: the bathroom.
Yeah,
right? Obviously, obviously ventilation, and so forth. But
gotta have a nice clean bathroom.
Clean.
Yeah,
and that's like I said, Nayeli loves. She's on a Lancero kick right now. But she's the creative genius behind our decor. I don't know who did yours.
Me.
Yeah. So
that's my weird hobby. It's like I love interior design.
That's cool, man.
It's like if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be doing something like that.
Yeah. But yeah. If you get the bathroom right, and you have the right amenities, the wives come, and then not just the wives, but then smokers in of themselves that lady smokers that are smoking because they want to. So
I think people can see the little detail that you put in every little thing.
Yeah, that's
what matters. So yeah. So what's next for Sherri's?
Well, like I said, we really want to build that deck. And that's if you want to build something nice, it's a $50,000 project, right? That's this isn't
Oh yeah, people are like, when are you going to build a rooftop? I'm like, when I could get enough money to. Like, if you want to give me some,
$100,000,
exactly.
come on with it. Yeah. So that's the same thing for us. Is we got a few things that we're considering, but we really want the deck to go in next. City. And we're either going to, the foundation of the space was carrying those, 2-ton printing presses.
Yeah.
So it's built structurally to support a second and third floor. So we're gonna hire a structural engineer to give us a plan to see what that looks like. Like even the because the city requires an actual architectural plan and design from a certified engineer, even for the deck.
Even you got to pay for the blueprints and all that stuff. It's
that's $3,000 by itself, right?
Yep.
So the structural guy's $10,000. So it's like people don't realize just for me to have the idea
has to cost money.
Costs me
Yeah.
money. So
And it's before even putting nails and
first nail.
wood.
Right?
Yeah.
I even dropped a nail in it. 10 grand out, gone. And if we don't do the project, it's sunk cost. It's gone.
Yep.
So that part sucks. But we're still gonna go that route, have the plan put in place, and see what it really gonna take. And if we can't build up, which I don't see why the city wouldn't let us do that, we may build back.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
We'll see.
So what's your 5-10 year goal from now?
Certainly multiple lounges. And then, again, being able to step back and have, GMs that run the joint, and I can move on to bigger and better things, with my family. Because, from a wealth perspective, we need money. Everybody needs money to survive in this world. But I try to look at wealth as discretionary time. And that means I can spend more time with my kids and my family, and do more.
Yeah,
things.
having a balance is key.
Yeah,
Is key. And that's with most business owners. Like, you got to find your way time.
Yeah,
So you got to find your me time. You got to find your family time.
yeah. So in 5 years, hopefully, I'm down to, working 10 hours a week, max.
That'd be great.
We shall
Let
see,
me
right?
know when you get there,
Yeah,
because
we
I don't
shall
know.
see.
I'm hoping that's probably like a 20-year goal of mine.
We shall see.
But I'm in the deal where now it's like I still love being here, and I still love coming to work.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Same.
So it's just like I kind of want to be here.
Yeah, I love being there, but it's difficult sometimes to take up the day and engage in every conversation with every person that comes in. Because there's so much to be done,
Yep.
from a behind the scenes perspective. I love the conversations, always have wonderful conversations, but then it's a push and pull factor, and I'm thinking to myself, look, I got to get home to the kids, but I still have to do this because the taxes are due,
Yep.
or whatever. And
And the state don't play.
no, no, I've gotten those emails. We're going to shut you down. if
Yeah,
don't
you
send
better
your-"
pay your like. Oh,
right.
shit, I'm only a day late.
Man, yeah, exactly. I know.
I remember I got a letter from them that I owed I think it was like $117 because I forgot what it was for. And they're like, we're gonna shut you down. I'm like, over $100? I'm like, I'll pay you now. And it was like a day or two late.
Yeah,
I
it's
was like,
wild.
guys, like the state does not play around.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know about KCK, but KCMO, they don't play either. So if you don't file your earnings tax, they estimate it for you
Oh wow.
and then bill you. And then, and then when you file, you may get a refund or you don't.
Yeah.
But they estimate high too. It's like what? Why do I have a $5,000 bill? What the hell is this?
Yeah, we just thought you'd make this much. So no, that's not it.
Yeah. But that's really 5-10 years. We want to definitely have probably 3 or 4 times the real estate portfolio we have now. Definitely be able to step back. The kids will be older, so make it a lot easier to travel. We need to get back to traveling and spending more time on each other.
Yeah.
And letting these things work for us. While the right people have to be there to do that, though, is the vibe. You can't sacrifice the vibe.
Yep. Can't sacrifice the vibe and environment. Yep.
So
Got to say the same.
yep, that's why I'm there right now. So, and everybody knows that. And we got great people, great staff, amazing, work their butts off. They don't steal from us, which is,
That's key.
it happens every day, and that's important, very, very important. And we're going to try to take the staff we have now and just build up their skill set to a point where we can walk away, as opposed to try to hire somebody new that's going to cost. I'd rather increase my staff salaries for taking on the added responsibilities.
Yep.
And hire somebody from the street, pay them a high amount for 6 months to train them. Like,
yeah.
Good. You know? So, yeah, we shall see. But ideally, Sherri's continues to grow. And from a cigar lounge perspective, we have one more book in the works right now. So we have 3 published books so far. And we're going to put out, Naili's working on a book currently. And, you know, she if you didn't know, she's a nurse, and she got deployed to New Rock, where the epicenter of the COVID outbreak was. And, you know, one of her first responsibilities was to manage the semi-trailer of dead bodies. So,
Jeez.
Talk about trauma, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really what we're going to try to focus on. Do some of those things for ourselves. And just live the damn life, you know.
Good deal, man. Yeah. So before we end it, tell people about Sherri's. Tell them where to locate it. Tell them the Instagram, Facebook, where to find you, all that stuff.
Yeah. Sherri's Executive Lounge, 3834 Genesee Street, KC Mo. We're literally 39th and Genesee Street. We're in the cut. So if you're heading
right behind Frick and Frack, right?
Yeah, right behind Frick and Frack. We are on Facebook and Instagram. You just type in Sherri's Lounge or Sherri's Executive Lounge and you'll find us. We're not on Twitter yet. I'm not big.
I'm not on Twitter either. Yeah.
Not that I'm not a fan or anything. It's just I can't manage so many accounts, you know. We have live music Wednesday through Saturday. I know a lot of lounges do. We have some other options as well. You know, we do Marley Mondays, the first Monday of every month, things like that. That's live music. We're booked out about 2 months, and it's always on our website. So, excuse me. That's sherrislounge.com.
Cool. Well, my man, appreciate you being on, man. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Pleasure's all mine, man. Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.